Okay. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. Today we're working on this Husqvarna 124L weed eater. Now, it's a 4-stroke weed eater, and I'm not a big fan of 4-stroke weed eaters, but it came as part of a package, and it looks like it's in pretty good shape outside of having sat for a long time. So we're going to go ahead and do the carburetor and check the fuel lines and see if we can't get this guy running. So all you new people out there, go ahead and subscribe. It's free, and I really do appreciate it. So let's get started. Okay, let's put you right there and turn the lights up. And that should do it. Okay, first thing we're going to do is take a look. And we're looking for condition also, because this is a 4-stroke, so you won't run into the cylinder problems you run into with 2-stroke weed eaters, but it can still have other problems. We'll pull our little retainer out of there. Okay, because it's a 4-stroke, it's got a little pollution pipe on it. This carries the recirc gases from the valve cover back into the engine, or back into the carburetor. Oh, look at that. This one looks like somebody might have already taken a swing at it. But since it's still got the original carburetor, I'm going to assume they didn't try very hard. Yep, that's the original carburetor, okay. Now before you take the fuel lines off the carburetor, loosen the gas cap. That way, the pressure in the gas tank won't get gas back up the lines. Okay, our gasket looks, yeah, pretty rough actually. So let's go ahead and put a new gasket on her. And on a good day, this is like a 5-minute job. Super easy peasy. But remember, do take pictures when you're doing this, because keeping track of which fuel line goes where and all that, it's easy to forget. Okay, the cap's loose. Let's see, yank one off. Let's yank two off. Let's get a carburetor on it. After we finish this, we're going to see if we can't get this discoloration off the motor cover also. Now the one with the little barbs on it is 99.9% of the time going to be the incoming fuel line. Incoming fuel line is the one in the tank with a filter on it. There you go. We're going to rotate you back over here. You can see from this, these studs are actually bolts. So we're going to have to hold those still so we don't push them back into the engine. They won't push all the way back in, but it'll make it a pain in the neck to get the air cleaner on when we're done. And note the order that you take things apart, because when you're putting it back together, that's going to be the order you want to put it back together in. Like we know we took the accelerator cable off while it was on. And the reason we did that is the carburetor usually won't slide all the way off with the accelerator cable on it. Sometimes they have a cable, sometimes they have a little steel bar. And with a steel bar, it's a little bit different. But that's for another video. Okay, buddy. Let's get you straight. Let's lay you on. Once you get it laid in place, there we go. Okay, very nice. This one's going quite well, actually. Let's make sure we prime. Okay, at this point, we're going to tighten the cap back up. Next up is putting our air filter back on. How'd you go? You went like this. I'm going to try to hold these studs, pinch them a little bit, and be very gentle putting this on so that we don't push them back into the engine. Very nice. See, it looks like this is going super easy well, but you can push those studs backwards. Then you got to pull the carburetor back out or take the cover off and Ouija your finger back there to push them forward again. Now, if you're using a screw gun to do this, make sure you get the first thread started, and make sure you've got a screw gun that you can control like this. I've had this one for many, many moons, so I'm super comfortable with it. There we go. Now, if you're wondering, yeah, the primer being way down here, that's a terrible idea. That's just bad design. But I've never been a fan of gas-powered weed eaters anyway. I've always liked the 2-strokes. Because even though it runs a diaphragm-based carburetor, you still got oil, and you want the oil to be in the bottom. So running it like that isn't a super great idea. Okay, let's clear our launch area. Let me back you out a little bit. There you go. Let's see what happens. Let's crank this bad boy up. Full choke. We're primed. I did not expect that. Okay, even though she started just that easy on the first pull, I'm still not a fan of 4-stroke weed eaters. So that went really, really well. Let's pull this cover off and see what we can do with her. Now, depending on the type of plastic they use, sometimes this works great and sometimes this doesn't work very well at all. Now, it came out okay. They don't make it look new when you use a heat gun on a cover, but it does make it look a little bit better. It takes a lot of that white oxidation off of it. Okay, this is a 4-stroke weed eater. I'm still not a fan of 4-stroke weed eaters. I never will be, because if you run it upside down or sideways, it takes the oil away from where it wants to be in the bottom of the oil pan. That's why 2-strokes are better for weed eaters and chainsaws and things like that. But this one runs really good, and I'm going to save the old carburetor and rebuild it and use it on a future build. Well, for all you new people out there, go ahead and subscribe. It is what we work for. So we'll see you next time.